Step into the wild, unpredictable world of sports, where electrifying victories clash with gut-wrenching tragedies. In a blink, celebrated athletes adored by thousands can vanish, leaving fans in shock and sorrow. Today, we unveil these heart-stopping moments when triumph turns to tragedy. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and join us on this gripping journey into the darkest twists of sports history. Click subscribe below and get ready for an unforgettable ride. Phil Hughes, an Australian cricketer hailed as one of the most promising batting talents of his generation, broke records at a young age, becoming the youngest cricketer to score twin centuries in a test match for Australia. Born on November 30, 1988 in Maxville, New South Wales, he quickly set new standards with his unorthodox batting stance and his knack for sending the ball to the boundary with remarkable ease. On November 25, 2014, while playing in a Sheffield Shield match at the Sydney Cricket Ground, Hughes faced a short-pitch delivery from bowler Shah Abbott. An emergency unfolded at the stadium as he was struck by a high ball while attempting a hook shot. The ball hit him on the neck. Although he momentarily adjusted his helmet, he soon collapsed onto the pitch, leaving players and spectators in complete shock. A New South Wales fast bowler, who had bowled about 5 overs aggressively that day, had just delivered the bouncer that hit Phil, although it is not 100% clear where the impact occurred. Medical staff rushed to his aid, and he was urgently transported to the hospital where he underwent emergency surgery. Despite intensive care, Phil Hughes never regained consciousness and tragically passed away 2 days later, on November 27, 2014. Hughes's heartbreaking death raised serious questions about player safety. It sparked innovations in helmet design and renewed awareness of the risks posed by fast bowling in the sport. Chuck Hughes suffered a severe heart condition in the fourth quarter during Week 6 of the 1971 season. A promising wide receiver for the Detroit Lions in the NFL, Hughes was born on March 2, 1945 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and had already shown his talent by setting multiple receiving records at the University of Texas at El Paso before being drafted into the league. During a game on October 24, 1971, against the Chicago Bears at Tiger Stadium, Hughes suddenly collapsed on the field late in the fourth quarter. Initially, players and spectators assumed he was merely shaken by a tackle, but it soon became clear that something far more serious was happening. As a chilling silence fell over the stadium, medical staff rushed to his side and performed CPR in front of a stunned crowd, while both teams looked on in utter disbelief. Despite all efforts, Hughes never regained consciousness and was pronounced dead shortly afterward. An autopsy later revealed he had suffered a massive heart attack due to advanced arteriosclerosis. Chuck Hughes remains the only NFL player to collapse on the field during a game, a haunting statistic that starkly underscores the dangers of high-level sports. Reggie Lewis began feeling out of breath, then suddenly collapsed, went into cardiac arrest, and was pronounced dead at the age of 27. Reggie was a charismatic and prolific scorer for the Boston Celtics, cherished by fans for his graceful style on the court and his quiet leadership off it. Born on November 21, 1965 in Baltimore, Maryland, Lewis shined in college basketball at Northeastern University, quickly emerging as one of the nation's most exciting prospects. Drafted by the Celtics in 1987, he soon became a cornerstone of the franchise after Larry Bird's retirement during the 1992-93 NBA season. At the height of his career, while averaging over 20 points per game, troubling health issues began to surface. He collapsed during a playoff game against the Charlotte Hornets of 1993, complaining of dizziness and shortness of breath. Later, while practicing at Brandeis University in Massachusetts during the off-season, Reggie collapsed again during a friendly pickup game with some college friends. Rushed to the hospital, he could not be revived, and the official cause of death was cardiac arrest, likely due to a structural heart defect. His sudden passing at the age of 27 shocked the NBA and sent shockwaves through the entire sports world. Samantha Serio tells a different kind of tragic sports story. Although she suffered a career-ending injury, she survived to tell the tale. A promising young gymnast from Auburn University, she captured worldwide attention in 2019 when she endured one of the most horrifying injuries ever seen in the sport during a routine event at the NC of Oro Regional Championship in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Samantha landed so disastrously that she broke both of her legs at once. She shattered the bones in her lower legs, dislocated both knees, and tore multiple ligaments, all in one devastating moment. Following the accident, Samantha immediately announced her retirement from gymnastics and focused on her recovery. Her main goal was to regain her mobility in time to walk down the aisle on her wedding day. Remarkably, just 3 months later, she accomplished that by marrying Trey Wood Wilder. Belgian cyclist Wouter Vandt experienced a tragic crash during the third stage of the Giro d'Italia. Wouter Vandt, admired for his high-speed racing style and born in Ghent on September 27, 1984, raced with renowned teams including Omega Pharma and Trek Factory Racing. His accomplishments boasted a stage win in the 2010 Giro d'Italia and another during the 17th stage of the 2008 WTA, showcasing his promise as an emerging star in the sport. Vandt is noted as the 4th cyclist to die during the Giro, and the first in 25 years. Tragically, Ballon's life and career were cut short on May 9, 2011, during the Giro d'Italia's third stage. While descending the Passo del Bu, an area known for its tight turns, he was reportedly traveling at over 80 kilometers per hour. Witnesses reported that he glanced back, possibly to gauge his competitors' positions, then lost control of his bike and collided with a concrete barrier, suffering multiple fractures, severe head trauma, and extensive injuries. The rider, who was veering off track, fell at high speed during a descent about 20 kilometers from the end of the Reggio Emilia to Rapallo stage. Medical personnel arrived swiftly, yet Vandt was declared dead before reaching the hospital after receiving over half an hour of treatment. Vandt was scheduled to be taken to the hospital, and his untimely death deeply shook the cycling world. As a tribute, riders covered the next stage in complete silence, pedaling side by side to honor him. Dale Nart was a legendary NASCAR driver, famous for his black number 3 car and the nickname, the Intimidator. He earned that moniker because he constantly stayed close behind competitors, applying relentless pressure on the track throughout his career. He won 7 NASCAR championships and achieved 76 victories, making him one of the most successful figures in the sport. Beyond racing, Nart valued family and took pride in watching his son, Dale Nart Jr., embrace the world of auto racing. On February 18, 2001, Nart participated in the Daytona 500, an event he had triumphed in before. During the race's final lap, he assumed a defensive position for teammate Michael Waltrip and his son, Dale Jr., who were leading at the time, approaching the last turn. Nart's car was bumped by another vehicle, causing him to spin and crash head-on into the wall at nearly 200 miles per hour. Although it initially looked like a routine accident, this time the outcome was fatal. It became clear that something was seriously wrong within the car, and nobody knows his exact condition because it has rarely been discussed. The loss of Dale Nart shook the entire racing community even today, and his legacy endures both for his remarkable record on the track and the resolute spirit that made him an icon of American motorsports. Antonio Puerta, also known as Antonio Cuera, was a gifted footballer who rose through Sevilla FC's youth system and quickly earned a spot in the first team during the 2005-06 season. He made his mark as a left-back, famously scoring against Schala 0-4 to secure Sevilla's place in the UEFA Cup final, a victory they celebrated over Middlesbrough in the following season. His decisive penalty against RCD Espanyol helped the club claim the 2006-07 UEFA Cup title. His impressive performances attracted major teams such as Arsenal, Manchester United, and Real Madrid, and also earned him a place in the Spanish national squad. Tragically, Puerta's promising career ended abruptly on August 25, 2007, during a match against GFE. He suffered a cardiac arrest on the pitch. Although he briefly recovered and was assisted to the locker room, he collapsed again and was rushed to the hospital. Puerta endured multiple cardiac arrests that resulted in severe brain damage, and he passed away 3 days later due to a difficult-to-detect heart condition. His death sent shockwaves through the soccer community. Puerta had shown warning signs before, yet medical tests never uncovered the critical issue. Thousands gathered at Sevilla's Ramón Sánchez Pizjuán Stadium for his memorial, honoring a player whose talent was matched only by his immense potential. Adam Johnson was a promising ice hockey player, born in Minnesota in 1994. After making a name for himself in college leagues, he embarked on his professional journey in 2017 with the Pittsburgh Penguins in the NHL. Even though he was not drafted, his determination allowed him to play in 13 NHL games between 2018 and 2020. And then he continued his career in Europe with teams in Sweden, Germany, and most recently for the Nottingham Panthers in the United Kingdom. On October 28, 2023, during an elite Ice Hockey League match against the Sheffield Steelers, a tragic incident occurred in a play gone wrong. The blade of an opposing player's skate, worn by Matthew Petgrave, accidentally sliced Johnson's neck, causing a catastrophic injury. Despite rapid medical intervention on the ice, his wounds proved fatal. He passed away at the age of 29, leaving both the arena and the wider sports community in shock. This heart-wrenching event sparked intense discussions about player safety, leading the British League to mandate neck guards starting January 2024. Additionally, the Nottingham Panthers retired his number 47 jersey to honor his lasting impact on the team. Ayrton Senna, a 3-time world motor racing champion, made headlines after a dramatic crash during the San Marino Grand Prix. This Brazilian racing icon was renowned for his extraordinary skill behind the wheel and his charismatic presence. He secured his legacy by winning 3 Formula One World Championships in 1988, 1990, and 1991, showcasing exceptional talent even under the toughest conditions, like driving in heavy rain. On May 1, 1994, during the San Marino Grand Prix at Imola, Senna's fate was sealed in a tragic accident. The day had already been marred by the fatal crash of Austrian driver Roland Ratzenberger during qualifying. Despite the heavy emotional toll, Senna took to the track, determined to race while leading on the 7th lap. His car suddenly lost control at the high-speed Tamburello corner. Although the collision wasn't head-on, a piece of the car's suspension broke off, pierced his helmet, and struck his head. Despite immediate medical attention and being airlifted to a nearby hospital, Senna succumbed to his injuries within hours. His untimely death devastated the racing community and sparked significant safety reforms in Formula One, fundamentally changing how the sport protects its drivers. Owen Hart, a celebrated professional wrestler known for his impressive ring skills and his place in the famous Hart wrestling family, tragically lost his life following a fatal accident. Owen had carved out his own niche in the World Wrestling Federation by adopting unique personas and taking daring risks that showcased his athletic prowess. On the day of an over-the-edge event, while the broadcast was briefly paused for a commercial break, a planned dramatic entrance turned into a nightmare. Owen was scheduled to descend from a high structure as part of his Blue Blazer character act. However, due to faulty equipment, he lost his grip and fell violently into the ring. The impact was so severe that live viewers could scarcely believe what they saw. This tragic incident shocked fans worldwide and sparked significant controversy regarding safety protocols in professional wrestling. Marc-Vivien Foe, a talented midfielder from Cameroon who played for major clubs like Lyon and Manchester City, had firmly established himself as an integral player for both club and country, especially during the 2002 World Cup and the 2003 Confederations Cup. During a semi-final match of the 2003 Confederations Cup against Colombia, an unexpected tragedy struck. Foe suddenly collapsed on the field. Despite immediate medical attention, he could not be revived. It was later determined that he suffered a cardiac arrest due to a rare heart condition known as hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. The collapse unfolded in full view of his teammates and the crowd, leaving everyone in a state of disbelief and sorrow. News of Foe's death spread quickly and was officially announced within minutes following the match. Players from both sides were left in shock, sparking widespread mourning across the soccer community. In the wake of his passing, clubs such as Manchester City and Lyon retired his jersey number, and FIFA introduced emergency medical programs aimed at preventing similar tragedies in the future. Foe's untimely death remains a poignant reminder of the vulnerabilities athletes face, no matter how remarkable their physical abilities may be. Jean Carvalho, a 28-year-old Portuguese mixed martial arts fighter, was carving out a promising career in combat sports with remarkable tenacity and ring skill. In 2016, during an event in Dublin, Ireland, after suffering a technical knockout loss to Charlie Ward, Carvalho began to feel unwell. The Portuguese fighter was knocked out in the hospital ward during the third round of an extreme fighting event at Dublin's National Stadium. Shortly after the fight, he was rushed to the hospital, but his condition quickly worsened. Despite the best efforts of medical professionals, Carvalho succumbed to cerebral complications 2 days later. His death sparked intense debate in the MMA community, with many arguing that the fight should have been stopped sooner to prevent further harm. The controversy also led to discussions about the need for stricter safety protocols in the sport. Though Carvalho's loss was deeply felt by fans and fellow fighters alike, it has driven ongoing efforts to improve fighter safety and prevent similar tragedies in the future. Fran Crippen was a talented American swimmer with a bright future in open water events and was recognized as a potential Olympic medalist. Born in 1984, Crippen had achieved numerous victories in his career and was highly regarded in the competitive swimming world. On October 23, 2010, during the World Swimming Championships in the United Arab Emirates, Crippen took part in a grueling 10-kilometer open water race held under extreme weather conditions. The water temperature was about 30 degrees Celsius, and the air hovered around 38 degrees Celsius, conditions that quickly took their toll on the athletes. During the race, Crippen began experiencing severe symptoms of heat stress, thirst, disorientation, and difficulty locating the buoys. Despite these clear warning signs, he continued swimming, determined not to give up. Soon he vanished from the sight of his fellow competitors, and an exhaustive search later revealed his lifeless body near the final buoy approximately 30 minutes after he disappeared. Investigations pointed to a dangerous combination of extreme heat, dehydration, and possibly an underlying heart condition that worsened during the race. Crippen's tragic passing led to widespread calls for improved safety measures in open water competitions, highlighting the urgent need for enhanced athlete monitoring and stricter environmental protocols during such events. Scott Keita, an accomplished American drag racer known for his success in both the funny car and top fuel categories within the National Hot Rod Association, was the son of veteran driver Connie Keita. He quickly rose through the ranks, capturing 2 top fuel championships in 1994 and 1995, and earned immense respect for his skill and determination. On June 21, 2008, during qualifying at the Lucas Oil NH Super Nationals in New Jersey, a catastrophic incident unfolded. While competing in his funny car, which was traveling at approximately 300 miles per hour, the engine exploded in flames near the finish line. This sudden explosion compromised the car's control systems, and despite Keita's desperate efforts to slow down the vehicle, he collided with the retaining wall. Analysis later revealed that a malfunction in the clutch system had kept the engine running, resulting in extreme impact forces that proved fatal. His death not only shocked the drag racing community, but also triggered significant safety changes, including a reduction in racing distances and the introduction of new technologies designed to prevent engine explosions and improve braking systems.